Well, we are turning our attention to security-related matter now. It's got to do with the proposal for ranching to curb the killings or the attacks going on at the moment. We have Mr. Emmanuel, who is a former national chairman, National Transformation Party. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you, and good morning, viewers.
Interestingly, it turns out that yesterday, when the president was in Ekiti for the campaigns, yes, he said it again, that the opposition is blackmailing him with herdsmen's killings. He says that just because he's Fulani, they think that they're trying to rope him in to what is going on, saying he's doing nothing. But he says, far from that, that they're doing as much as they can to ensure that they bring the culprits to book and end some of those killings going on. Now, that comment against the previous comments that you might have heard before, how do you internalize it?
I believe the president is being dishonest. This is the president that said he cannot do anything after they killed so many people in Plateau State very recently.
Did he categorically say that? Or
he said he cannot do that. Well, I heard that he said, and that we should pray.
But that's third-party information if you heard somebody else say that.
Okay,
but
so
what is directly from him now?
No, this is directly from him that they are blackmailing him. That's what he said, the opposition are blackmailing him. He's the commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Let's look at what he has done. And then based on what he has done, now decide, let's forget what anybody has said. In just very recently, the 52 villages were attacked. Now, remember that the military are deployed in Plateau State, and they've been deployed in Plateau State since the time of General Olusegun Obasanjo. And so response time of the military to any of those locations, especially as these attacks are in the areas where they have constantly been attacked. It's not as if they went to Mongu in the areas they've not attacked to attack. So the military will say, okay, we didn't expect it there. This is an area where they've been attacked. For 2 days, there was crisis in that place. In fact, on the second day, they say for 7 hours they were. Even if you wanted to move the Nigerian Air Force from Makurdi to Plateau, they would have gotten there in 1 hour. For 7 hours, they were attacking the people. When the people of the areas that were being attacked, the youths now organize themselves into vigilantes to re-attack back the attackers. We now heard that the military went, arrested some of those that went to attack them. That night, they declared 24 hours or how many hours curfew. The next day, they thought they heard that the military were going house-to-house search of the victims' houses to seize their cutlasses. So, if, take it, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the man that has responsibility, the man who has led the people down by which they have been killed so much. Now, would you now, at your responsibility, the army will now come to those people who were attacked in their sleep. Okay, let's and now begin to take away the little arms or whatever they have.
Let's attempt to take it one after the other, because I mean you mentioned quite a number of things. In Plateau, that was where you're referring to. When that particular matter happened, before you even get to the president, there's a police force, there's a police command in the state.
Yes.
So are we assuming, or are you bypassing the primary responsibility of police and then moving on to the president, and why?
So let me tell you, with leadership, there's something Sun Tzu said, that's the person that wrote the book, The Art of War. He said, when you put a team out to take charge of a situation, if things are going wrong, all you need is take one person and make that person pay for the flaw in the whole team. And the person you take to pay for that is the head of that team.
The head of that team in this
case, head of that team,
is the state governor.
No. The head of that team is the president. The state governors have no control. If you remember in Nimbo in Enugu, the governor of Enugu called the GOC, called the president. Nobody answered him. If these forces were under the governor in Enugu and Nimbo, maybe the president wouldn't even know. The governor would have dealt with it. Listen to what the governor of Benue State said.
Yeah, but did you listen to what the governor of Plateau said? Yes. After that incident, because if I heard him correctly, he also said they needed help. They wouldn't mind a house-to-house search before that search happened. It wasn't the president that gave the order for the military to go in for the house-to-house search.
And that's why you can see the governor himself now
Yeah, but we can't blame the president for that, can we?
Look, you must blame the president. The military is under the president. In Ekiti State, there's an election about to happen. Have you seen the deployment of the military in Ekiti State?
Yeah, well,
I'm coming. No. Don't. You cannot absolve him. You see what he's doing. Where his interest lies is, you see, they say, out of the abundance of their heart, the mouth speaks. Okay? Where his interest lies, you see that what he's doing. There is an election in Ekiti State. He sent in security. Has he sent in security the way he sent in Ekiti State, the way in Plateau State, or in Benue State, or in Southern Kaduna, or in Adamawa or Taraba, where all of these things are happening? I hold the federal government completely liable in this situation, because take this situation, 52 villages were attacked at the same time in Plateau. 52 villages suggests an area of maybe 10 square kilometers. Because 52, the villages will not be, they will have to be at least 100 meters apart. Now, the volume, the number of armed attackers that would do that would be so much that it will require a major movement of people. Now, all the major roads in Jos have checkpoints. In that area of Plateau, have military checkpoints. How did they pass?
Do you think
even if they move through the bushes, these are like, what do you call them, savanna kind of bushes? They are not those very thick bushes you have like in the south here.
Is there more than meets the eyes when you think about these farmer-herders clashes, especially in the middle belt of the country? Because one wonders and ponders at the same time how this can go on so sustained. Is there a plan?
I believe that I firmly believe that there's more than meets the eye. One of the most eminent Nigerian generals, T.Y. Danjuma, publicly stated that there's complicity, that the military of Nigeria is aiding the herdsmen. And I believe so firmly. When this particular attack took place, when you look at the area attacked, and the fact that, as we speak, nobody has been brought to book anywhere, or the church where 17 people were killed and 2 priests were killed. They said the military got there, from the report I read, that the military got there just after they had left, and that the people were telling the military to follow them, but the military did not at that time. And that if the military had followed them, like if you remember in Enugu, just before the last Anambra elections, there was rumor that the helicopters and Air Force jets were hovering around the state. Now, when something like this has happened, one would expect that those helicopters...
But you said it's a rumor. Are you taking...
No, I'm saying the people at the place said it. And in Anambra said it was not a case of a rumor. This is what happened. The Air Force the jets were flying about there. But so what I'm saying in Jos is, when these things happen, when this happened, how come those military jets, helicopters, did not comb the whole area and make sure they arrested all of these people with their arms?